Hey everyone, welcome to Literature with Sasha. If you are ever wanted to dive into the world of English literature and discover the stories, poems, and plays that shape the language we speak today, you have found the perfect place. From the earliest writing in the Old English to the bold, imaginative work of the modern authors, we are covering it all. Get ready for exciting discussions, fascinating historical insights, and deep dives into the work of your favorite writers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chapter in our literary journey. Let's begin. Introduction to the History of English Literature. English literature is a vast and diverse book of work that span many centuries, encompassing different styles, genres, and themes. From the earliest texts written in the Old English to the dynamic works of contemporary authors. The history of English literature reflects the evolution of language, culture, and society. Understanding this history is not only crucial for literature enthusiasts but also for anyone interested in understanding the development of English language and the way in which literature has shaped and been shaped by historical events. What is English literature? English literature refers to the collection of books, poems, plays, and stories written in the English language. It includes many types of writing from ancient poems to modern novels. Why is it important? Understanding the history of English literature helps us appreciate how the language and writing style have changed over time. It also gives us a glimpse into the thoughts, beliefs, and stories of different periods in history. Additionally, exploring the history of English literature allows us to see how societal changes such as political shifts, technological advancement, and cultural movements are reflected in the written words. Old English period 450 to 1150. When and where this period start with the Anglo-Saxon invasion of Britain and last for several centuries. What was special during this time, the English language was very different from what we use today. Writers use a lot of symbols, and their writing has often focused on religion, heroes, and battles. Key works Befall is the most famous work from this period. It tells the story of a hero fighting a monster. It's considered one of the earliest great work of English literature. Number 3. Middle English period 1150 to 1500. What was changed after the Norman conquest in 1166? French influence entered the English language, changing it even more. People started speaking a mix of English and French. Key authors Geoffrey Chaucer, the author of the Canterbury Tales, is the central figure. His work showed different people telling stories, and it helped us understand life in the medieval England. What was important? This period saw the development of a more complex English language. Works were often about daily life, religious themes, and knights. Number 4. Renaissance and Elizabethan period. 1500 to 1600. What happened during the Renaissance? This was a time of a great learning and art. People looked back to ancient Greece and Roman for inspiration. There was a focus on human potential and achievement. Key figures William Shakespeare is the most famous writer of this time. His plays like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet explore human emotions and universal themes. His language and creativity had a huge impact on literature. Key themes during this time, poetry and play were the most popular form of literature. Writers began to explore themes of love, politics, and the human experience in new ways. Number 5. Jacobean and Caroline period 1600 to 1660. What was special? This period followed the Renaissance and focused on more complex emotions with a rise in metaphysical poetry. Writers become interested in deep and sometimes dark subjects like death, love, and faith. Key authors John Donne, a poet known for his metaphysical poems, and Ben Jonson, a playwright, helped shape literature during this time. What changed? The stage became important with new types of plays being formed, especially one that explored the darker side of life. Number 6. Restoration period 1660 to 1700. After the monarchy was restored in England, literature took a more statistical tone. Writers started mocking politics, social norms, and even literature itself. Key authors John Dryden was a leading writer known for his poetry and plays. Samuel Pepys, who wrote diaries about his life, also became famous during this time. What was different? The focus was on wit, humor, and social criticism. The famous restoration comedy often involved jokes about love and relationships. Number 7. Augustan Age 1700 to 1750. What was changed? This period marked a return to a more structured and formal styles of writing inspired by an ancient Greek and Roman literature. There was a focus on reason, logic, and order. Key writers Alexander Pope and Jonathan Swift used satire to criticize society. Swift Gulliver's Travel is a great example of this. What was key? Writers often pointed out the flaws in society through humor and irony. This period laid the groundwork for later developments in literature. Number 8. Romantic period 1798 to 1837. What was special? The Romantic era focused on emotion, nature, and individualism. People were tired to focus on reason and wanted to explore feelings, imagination, and the beauty of the natural world. Key writers William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and Lord Byron were leading poets. They wrote about nature, emotion, and personal freedom. Key themes writers started focusing on the beauty of nature, the power of imagination, and the importance of personal experience and feelings. Number 9. Victorian Era 1837 to 1901. What happened? This period was marked by a major change in society due to the Industrial Revolution, such as urbanization and technological advancement. Key authors Charles Dickens, Thomas Hardy, and Brown sisters become famous for their novels, which often dealt with social issues, class differences, and moral dilemmas. What was important, the novel became the dominant form of literature, and writers tackles issues like poverty, social injustice, and the impact of industrialization on society. Number 10. Modernist period 1901 to 1945. What was difference? The modernist period was a time of experimentation in literature. Writers tried new forms and styles to reflect the changing world, especially after World War I. Key writers James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, and T.S. Eliot were among the key figures. They experimented with narrative styles and themes of alienation and disillusionment. What changed? Writers began to break traditional rules, creating complex and fragmented stories that reflect the chaos of modern life. Number 11. Postmodern era 1945 to onward. What happening now? Postmodern literature often rejects traditional storytelling techniques and focuses on the themes of identity, culture, and globalization. Writers play with the language and structure, mixing different genres and creating stories that question reality. Key writers Salman Rushdie, Margaret Atwood, and others explore modern issues like global conflict, technology, and cultural identity. What makes it different? Postmodern literature is often ironic and self-aware. It questions the boundaries between the fiction and reality and explores the complexities of modern life. Conclusion. The history of English literature is a story of constant change and development, shaped by political, social, and cultural shifts. From the heroic tales of the Old English period to the innovation work of modern and postmodern writers, English literature has evolved to reflect the diverse experiences of the language. Whether you are a student, a writer, or simply a literature lover, understanding this history is crucial to appreciate the richness and depth of English literary tradition. Thank you for joining me on today's literary adventure here on Literature with Sasha. I hope you gain new insights into history of English literature and the incredible writers who left their marks on the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so we can explore the wonderful world of literature together. Until next time, keep turning those pages, keep questioning, and as always, keep the love of literature alive. See you in the next video.